Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to be here with you today live. It's Margot Massery, your heartfelt CFO. I trust you all are doing amazing and your summer is just going fabulous. There's just so much to do in the summer that it just becomes a lot around the outdoors and sitting with friends for lunch or a cup of matcha or an iced latte or whatever drink you enjoy. I know for me, it's a real treat this summer. My daughter has been off and I'm really savoring it. Anything she asks, I really say yes. She's my baby, and I really just everything that she asks, it's not only just about saying yes, like I'm grateful she wants to, and I'm grateful that we have so much in common now that she's my best friend in a lot of ways and probably in all the ways. And if you're a mama out there, I wonder how you are with your daughter. And I have two. I have an older one who he's 22. And there's different relationships with different kids, right? And that's what it's about. So today's topic is really a interesting one because in so many ways we're troubleshooting things instead of really planning. And in case you don't know me, I'm the owner and founder of Heartfelt CFO and Tax Services, which is a accounting firm where we help you no matter where you are in the accounting journey so that you can take business where you're at, grow, make a lot of profit, less taxes, have more time with your family and loved ones, and pay less on other things and manageable expenses and all of the in between. So, what I've noticed is that we always talk about topics in the sense of like fixing things, making it better, enhancing, or from a reactive standpoint. What I want to do is I want to teach you a little bit to plan and come into my world. Welcome, welcome, welcome into my world around the planning, which is around your financial future. And what I'm going to say is that until I really started to plan, did I see my life elevate? Did I really see that my life changed? When I would wake up and let my calendar happen or let emails happen and let this happen and that happen and basically like take on whatever was happening, nothing was changing. What was changing was that I was solving the fires and never getting to what was important. In case you are new to my channel, just a little bit about me. I'm known as a business therapist, financial interpreter. I save thousands and thousands of dollars with our clients around helping you develop a strategic CFO mindset, no matter where you are in business, just beginning, elevated, curated, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars or thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands, wherever you are. We have a video platform right now that I want to also share that really simplifies a lot of these topics. And I encourage you to get on them so that you can learn. A lot of you that are DIYers out there, you're going to benefit from these classes that I've created. When I was in the DIY sense, even for myself, when I was doing just bookkeeping before I took on all of these skills and elevating myself to elevate the firm and listening to what clients wanted, I was searching for the solutions in addition to the clients. So I'm excited to share them. We've been rewriting how small business owners handle their money and feel empowered so that you're not overwhelmed and that you're more empowered. And real estate has been something since childhood for me that has been really, really special. And with that being said, it was told that it builds cash flow. But I want to ask you, are you really building wealth with real estate? So what are we going to cover today? What most real estate pros end up cash flow rich but asset poor. How clean financials open doors to tax savings and wealth building. How to create a simple monthly routine that can help you plan. I would love to join you for that and you can do it with me. The key steps to exit retirement and financial freedom so that on autopilot you have that formula and it works for you. It's an inner alignment that we go into with your monthly process so that you can have the financial freedom and the steps to exit. When I began this business over 10 years ago, I think I'm over 20, 23. My son is 22, so I'm almost 25 years in the business. And I remember when people would come to me around the exit, they didn't plan this way. And I want to change that paradigm for you. And let's get into it. So why guessing kills long-term growth? Guessing leads to higher taxes, wasted profits, and short-sighted decisions. Now, guessing kills long-term growth because you really are not making an educated decision. You're really just throwing spaghetti against the wall, and you're almost like hoping and wondering if that's going to happen. Now, if you lead the areas of your life around the money and tax with planning and strategy, it's less guessing and more of a predictability of where you're making the decisions from and what you're relying on. So they're not short-sighted decisions. They're more educated from numbers that were curated and that were looked at with you and for you and your wealth development. So a lot of our clients, when they come into real estate, lots of times they don't even understand what they're actually even building. Like we have a client right now, we're working on their extensions, and he's in the middle of a partnership and he really didn't even understand the structure. He just bought into it because he liked the passive income of what was the potential versus the investment that he made into it. He didn't realize the nightmare that he walked into. And it was really hard for him for so many years of taxes because he was jumping from place to place because nobody sat there and explained it to him what was really happening. And I'll be honest with you, with my team, when he came on, we had to do a lot of extra research. But that's the advantage to somebody who specializes in this, is that we do the research. We don't just tell you yes and then you hope. We do the research. And with talking it through, what he realized is that he was really in a situation over his head that he does want to get out of. However, planning the steps to get out of that, it's not like an exit so he can retire, but it's an exit so that he can plan for that cash flow that he's going to get and make a better decision that's easier. He's about to get married and he has kids through his and through the partner and all of these things, and possibly they're going to have more together and whatnot, and they need to be able to plan, and that's exactly what we're doing. So clarity starts with consistent bookkeeping. What does that mean? So it includes monthly income and expenses, net profit after every project, cash flow forecasting, easier decisions on scaling, exiting, or reinvesting. Most of the time you're reinvesting. It's not really necessarily around exiting, or lots of times people are holding on to their assets and they're giving it in the generational wealth capacity where it's going into trust and whatnot. However, wherever it is, consistent bookkeeping is what is the vehicle to help. So what do you gain with clean books? Like, why is bookkeeping so important? Most people are relying on the tax preparation, but when you do tax preparation, it's more of a reactive way. It's very quick, and it's not a way to necessarily help you run throughout the year so that you can make decisions. So when you get clean books, you have a clear view of your profit, not just gross cash flow, ability to plan for quarterly taxes and not scramble. I mean, I feel like every time I say a problem, I always say that's the number one problem. That's the number one problem, because there's so many people that are having a hard time with this, so that it ends up being the flavor of the week. But, planning for quarterly taxes can't be a scramble because there is nothing to scramble from. You're going to end up going into a deficit. So what we do is, when you plan, we build it into your numbers. We build it into the projections, into the building construction numbers, so that there is not lots of times at the end of construction, the numbers can be different. Yes. However, we do plan for buffers into there. So you're not really short, you're really ahead. Or for that thing that you're ahead, you can always have options with it. Now, you have the power to make data-driven decisions and investment decisions. Lots of times, like we were with a client this year, and they were deciding to take another partner on. But with another partner on, meaning he needed to have access to the records, and certain things that they had was not intact yet, which we had to work on. So having the books and having somebody who helps you with that is a really, really powerful act of kindness to you and your family and your business, because they're going to lead you towards the garden, is what I call it. They're going to lead you towards the way of profit a whole heap quicker, a whole heap faster, and with the right way to do it. Now, you've probably heard this before, the right way. The way is discussing it with you, helping you pay reduced taxes, putting in a buffer for taxes, and whatever other goals that we have, and planning for them and talking it through. So when you have confidence around this all, it also just gives you a lot of options to work from. So here's the 3-part financial reset: track, categorize, and check. That's it. So categorizing expenses, people think is easy, but it's not. And I'll tell you why. Most of the time, 8 times out of 9, all the times what I see from clients, or like 11 out of 10, what I see is that the expenses are on the wrong side of their financial statement. Now, checking your bottom line of what's left is really, really important. That's the wealth building moves of what's left. It's not the top line, it's what's left. And when you track what comes in, the rents, the flips, the commissions, the passive, like whatever you want to call it, and all of these things, you know what you have. And what I really notice is that there's so much emphasis on tax strategy, but not enough emphasis on, are you making enough money to cover your expenses, or are you overspending? That's really what it comes down to. Now, most of the time, not most of the time, a lot of the time it's overspending and it's not taxes, but taxes can help shield it. But until we get through all of that, do you really realize maybe how much more you need to earn in order to live comfortably? So here are some tools, but not limited to, things that we help, that makes it simple. You definitely use QuickBooks for bookkeeping, apps for receipts. You could even put it into a Google Drive folder. HubDoc is amazing. Google Sheets is amazing for the dashboards, and CFO services for high-level planning. We put in there optional. However, to me, it's a no-brainer. The money of the return is always like at least 20x on the money, because I always find you the money, and I'm saying that live on LinkedIn and through my emails, because this goes in multiple different directions, is that hands down, the money on CFO services is always a return, because I pull everything out of you so that we can plan, give you back the money, and make good decisions. The real flex isn't just cash flow. It's knowing exactly how to use it and buy back your time. Now, I'll tell you something. I just moved to New Jersey and about a year ago, and I have so many things that I need to go back to New York for. Now, leaving my business, leaving my home in New Jersey at some points, when I need to go back to New York and be at more than one place at the same time, it's not always easy. So what I've done was I've hired a personal chauffeur so that he can do the driving and then I can do my work at the same time. You know, people lots of times talk about an assistant and these and whatnot, or offsetting to a team. There was work that I had to do, and it wasn't work that I can outsource to anybody into the team, or it started with me. So there's a lot of different things, saving on your time. Also, it comes back from maybe somebody preparing your meals. It's not just building a team, it's everything around it. Babysitter for your kids. If you're a woman, even if you're a man, you might be, worried about these things. So retiring with freedom and cash flow, it's knowing how to buy back your time so you can make more happen with being super, super, super intentional. So I want to invite you to talk strategy with me and book your financial planning session together. And I want to help you build out the steps so that we can plan your life goals and not just your next flip or your not just sale or your exit. And we can do a whole heap more together. And on this call, there is no pressure. It's something that I offer as a gift for being part of my LinkedIn network. However, I will tell you, most clients have, or potential clients, they have a lot of fun on the calls because we get to talk all about you, and we get to work together on the things that you're not spending the time that will move you forward quicker. And what I tell you this is that helping you focus on what you need to, on really what's important, and helping you align and prioritize is really, really the key. Most of the time when I'm talking to clients, they're talking on low level activities that are not their genius zone, it's not their area of expertise, and they're spending way less time in their area of expertise than needing to be. And when that happens, is that it's already an income killer, because you being the owner of the company, you're not spending your time in the best way possible that will elevate the company. I have a client now where he is working on something that is really killing his time in his area of expertise, which is really the biggest area and potential of the business right now. And until he really realized that, did he move more of his time that way. And the next day when he did it, it was like night and day, light and dark when he did that. And these simple shifts, as long as you're able to meet yourself where you're at, where we take the activities and you do them, or one by one, or at least acknowledge them, the miraculous things that happen on the other side is the transformation, is the reinvention, is the profit, is the way to pay less taxes, give yourself a better salary, increase your salary, buy the building, all the potential that's sitting in your inbox, taking it. And let's get after it one by one, as long as that's what you want. Understanding what you have and making good decisions in time. Now, I'll tell you, maybe you won't need to make decisions, meaning like maybe there's not time to do anything. Maybe it's about waiting. It's more about waiting than it is necessarily doing more. I have the habit of sometimes overdoing, and I learned more and more of when it's time to take it back versus push and force. Anytime we find ourselves forcing things, it's good to really align and have a different view. And I invite you. I would be so grateful to do this with you. I cannot wait to see you on the call. I so appreciate you listening, and I look forward to talking to you soon. And I will say we're here every Wednesday for a new topic. Keep your questions coming, and let's keep doing this. Talk soon.